First stream of 2026. My goodness. 2026? That's still well, you know what? It's probably best if you guys can see me before I continue. Let's begin, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here. Happy New Year, everybody! And welcome to my first stream of the year, which is coincidentally reading more Hunter x Hunter with volume 22. Now, the chapters are going to be going all the way from chapter 224 all the way up to 235, I believe, just to be sure. But I just want to say how grateful I am to be alive. How grateful I am that I get to entertain all of you for another year. And the channel's going to be even bigger this year. The content's going to be even better this year. And members as well. We have an upcoming member summit that will be tomorrow on Friday. So I hope to see you guys there because we're going to be starting off the year right by gauging what's going to be happening with the channel. Starting off with the very first month of this year. So I hope to see you all there. We'll pull together some ideas and make sure the stuff that you guys really want to get put on the channel, as well as, other thoughts you have in mind, get addressed during the summit as well, and make sure that everybody's happy, everybody good. So, going through this, we are already halfway through pretty much the story at this point. But yeah, chapters 224 all the way to 235. Because last we left out on, we have Gon, Killua, Shoot, Knuckle, Moral, Nove, and Chairman Netero preparing to take on the Chimeras because the king has been born. And all the things that the king has basically been doing is just, establishing his dominance against all beings, including even his own elite guards. So the queen is dead, and now it's just the king left. And some of the Chimeras have gone their own separate ways to build their own colonies, be their own kings, but the king of the queen, born from the queen, he's out there doing his own thing, and it's pretty much a danger to everybody. So, let's start with chapter 224, 10, part 2. And we get this lady on the news.
Next on the news, a follow-up report on the dramatic increase in the number of unidentified cryptid sightings. What sets this apart from previous phenomena is the swelling number of victims and shocking footage providing tangible proof of their existence. In fact, most of the witnesses are active-duty police officers.
Right, because of Chitu. Chitu came through and wrecked a whole bunch of policemen just eating their brain, literally biting their brains out. And other Chimeras have just been doing whatever they want around the world too. Lucky to even be alive. More than half of those who rushed to the scene were killed. Oh wait.
In fact, most of the witnesses are active-duty police officers lucky to even be alive.
Sorry, this was the news lady.
More than half of those who rushed to the scene were killed.
I'm not sure what happened. The next thing I knew, I woke up in a hospital bed. And the dude who's talking about it was a policeman who apparently also lost his legs. Yes, it was a giant lobster.
This is video of the creature that took Mr. Sukuma's right eye and both legs. At its feet are the remains of his colleagues, too gruesome to show on TV.
And it shows many, many dead people around this chimera. And many people who have already been mutilated.
Many similar incidents have been reported and captured on film of these strange-looking creatures. Common features seem to be their savagery, capacity for human speech, and lack of fear of being in public. A famous example is the Lion Man of Nebraska.
And it's that same lion chimera that wanted to try and assert dominance over a cult, but it didn't really work. When he was watching Kite, Killua, and Gon when they first arrived in the NGL.
He sat for an interview posturing in front of the camera. He spouted at length what amounts to an underdeveloped theory of imperial rules as the freelance reporter patiently listened. She finally voiced the one question everyone wanted to know the answer to. Can you prove right here and now that you're not a fake? Those were her final words. He killed her as his reply. We felt the need to report this to prevent any more deaths like hers. The Lion Man bit off her upper body in one bite.
Just ate the woman. Literally just bit off her entire torso.
This cannot be done by a person in a costume. These monsters are real. So far, these sightings have been limited to the European continent. It's possible they will spread to new territories, and no effective means of dealing with them has been found. If you should encounter one of these creatures, do not approach them and immediately retreat to safety.
And it shows someone on the side of the road, and there's multiple people standing around. And then there's someone going,
Wait long?
Okay, Oh, I know who this is! Okay, let's go. And it's the Phantom Troop! Chapter 224, 10, Part 2.
I hear they call chimeras ants.
Yeah, they probably got human DNA mixed in. And this is Fink speaking with Shizuku. Calculating back from the times and places of the reports, they likely came from the Balsa Islands. Lots of weird countries over there. Not like we can talk. But they're ants, right? You'd think they'd stay near their nest. Why'd they come out here?
Who knows?
Maybe they just happened to wander over or were attracted by the smell of trash. I don't think it's a coincidence. And it looks like the Phantom Troop is making their way from that, that I forget exactly what that city is called, where they're from. Then Shizuku speaks up.
The NGL and East Cartel have isolationist policies. The conditions are the same here.
Making it easy for ants to invade. And then it shows a whole bunch of crows all over. And they essentially get back to their old stomping grounds, literally their home. It's been a while, and this is Shalnark. This place hasn't changed at all. And it shows numerous people. It shows numerous people in hazmat suits because this is literally a garbage city where everyone just dumps their trash. And then there are 3 people in hazmat suits and gas masks, and then Shalnark speaks to them. What's the status? Over 300 dead, including victims and suicide bombers. Bombs don't work, and we're not sure what else to do. And the assembly is divided over the definition of dead. What do you mean? And when they ask that question, they get to what appears to be like this big old giant church, and there's numerous pallets of bodies with flowers over them. And then one of them rips off the sheet, and it's a creature underneath. And it looks partially animal and partially human. He was human just the other day. The ants did this? He's obviously dead, so what's the problem? And then another guy in the hazmat dude speaks. Continues. Some of them survive in this transformed state and go over to their side. If there's no way to turn them back into humans, most of the assembly wants to mark that point as the definition of death. And then Fink just smiles. So they're arguing whether they're dead or just altered before deciding to retaliate. And then he takes off his little hat that he was wearing. Always missing the point. This place hasn't changed. We'll do it our own way. Mow down anyone who interferes. Don't worry. We'll get rid of this so-called queen by the end of the day. And this is the Phantom Troop saying, like, yeah, let's go kill ourselves some ants. We'll kill them by the end of the day. And they're making their way to this castle in the distance. and it's completely webbed up. And there's smoke everywhere because apparently someone tried to attack this place, but it didn't really work out for them. But the entire castle is covered in gigantic webs. And someone is screaming. There's this little tickle on my throat that I really want to cough. Someone is screaming,
I am your queen. You will surrender. Anyone who defies me will be put to death. The chosen will be promised permanent residence in paradise.
and it's that one chimera. It's that one chimera with a scorpion tail that I believe either Gon or Killua went up against.
My mother's greatest failure was her choice to lay eggs to build an army, an inefficient method if there ever was one. Her only success was giving birth to me.
And it shows one human being dragged by these chimeras in front of her going, Don't kill me! No, don't! Just kill me now!
A lively one.
And she takes her tail and just jabs into his neck.
Full of promise.
And after jabbing into his neck, he forcibly starts to get transformed into like this malformed, human-esque looking creature. And then he bows. Then he bows in front of her.
Bingo. Welcome to paradise, chosen one.
And then this chimera, whose name keeps escaping me, she puts her foot out and goes, and holds it in.
Swear allegiance. Swear eternal allegiance to the queen.
And the same chimera sticks her foot out in front of this man who just turned into a creature, and she thinks to herself as he kisses it,
I am the queen. With my sexy stinger of rebirth, queen shot, I'll rule the world.
And then it cuts to the Phantom Trooper with Shalnart going, through their front door? Sounds good. And this is Finks responding. And that's the end of chapter 224. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been looking forward to this specific moment in the chapters because I vaguely remember the Phantom Troop when they showed up to start taking down chimeras, and now I get to have the whole volume where I see it. Chapter 225. Is that right? Yes, the numbers are right. The playback hasn't even caught up yet. Chapter 225, 10, Part 3. And the Phantom Troop makes their way inside this webbed-up castle. Nobody here. Step right up, huh? And then Shizuku looks in one direction and goes,
I'll go this way then.
And then Phaeton goes, me that way. And then I can't remember the girl in the Yukata's name. I forget her name, and she goes,
We're splitting up.
Of course, race to kill Queen first. Oh wait, this is Phaeton going, of course, race to kill Queen first. You probably have abilities you don't want to reveal to us either, right? Dispose of anything that comes at you. If you beat the Queen, you can be the acting leader.
Got it.
Ready, set, go! And then all of the Phantom Troop facing different directions, they just go in different directions because it's time for them to kill some ants. And then one of the threads of webs kind of goes broom. And that same weird old man face spider we saw from a while back that was going up against Pockle and his group, he's there going, they split up. From the way they walk, they're far from the run-of-the-mill. It's like they belong in the wild. And then the same chimera that stabbed the dude in the neck goes,
Are they tough?
Yes'm.
Then you better go too.
But ain't nobody to protect you. And he's saying you, Y-E-W, you, ain't nobody to protect you.
I'll be fine. If you're so concerned, go catch them and come back as fast as you can.
Sorry. The cold I had still wants to try and linger. It really wants to try and linger. But I will not be stopped. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry, everybody.
If you're so concerned, go catch them and come back as fast as you can.
Pike, that's its name.
I'm counting on you, Pike.
Oh, and her name is Zazan. Pike and Zazan. See, I told you I was bad with names.
I'm counting on you, Pike.
Oh, I'm not worthy of such praise. I will humbly give my all to you, Mistress Zazan. I'll be right back. And then Pike immediately takes off in order to try and bring down one of the members of the troop. Then we get Zazan going.
Now then, off to join the fray? My mother's one misfortune is never experiencing the fun of combat.
Then one of the members of the Phantom Troop, the one with the boxing gloves and body covered in bandages, he runs afoul of one particular chimera that's just covered in spikes. And then this same chimera tries to rush him, but all of a sudden, the bandage troop member is already behind him, but his bandages are falling off.
Ah, come on. Come give Papa a hug. It'll be the best you've ever had. Ah!
And then the bandages fall off of this guy, and we see that he's very lanky, but he also has holes all over. He has holes all over his body, face, chest, even literally where his stomach should be, arms, legs, holes all over his body.
Moles or holes?
And then the dude starts moving his arm, and it causes sound and music. And then all of a sudden, this sound appears to disorient this chimera from his point of view, as the image of this Phantom Troop member starts to become distorted. And then we get an entire narration. Banolanov. Yeah, that's okay. Apparently that's his name. Banolanov is descended from the Gyudondond. I'm starting off this year, first stream, with all these weird names. Banolanov is descended from the Gyudondon people, a small tribe chased into obliteration by the development of their land. At 3 years old, the boys are circumcised and the first needles are passed through their bodies. These are gradually replaced with larger and larger sticks. Finally, they are stabilized with stones or bamboo stalks. So it shows needles, and then an increase in size for larger sticks, and then full-on stalks just inside of their bodies. They are called BAP, dancing warriors. A variety of sounds can be made from different size holes and varying movements. They act as both shamans and musicians, playing their bodies in a war dance before battles. The more beautiful the sound produced, the more powerful spirits they believed are summoned. Experienced BAPs have more influence than tribal elders and are exalted as deities. And then we cut back we cut back to the dude, and the entire area is just disorienting Benolanov, and the entire area is just disorienting this chimera, and it makes it seem like a tribal warrior is in front of this chimera. Melody transformed into battle state. War anthem. Battle cantabile. Prologue. And this image of a warrior jumps, leaps at this, either that or it's a summoned Nen beast, Nen creature. It jumps at this chimera and immediately pierces it in the chest. And then it just shows the Nen coming all of Benolanov. And then he starts spinning and he starts putting the bandages back on him. In battle, my people are the most graceful in the world. I swear upon the spirits and my tribe, you can never defeat me. And then the chimera gets back up again. Because while he got stabbed, he's back up. And the chimera continues speaking.
Going somewhere?
And Bono, I'm just going to call him Bono. Bono looks at him.
Was that strike really loaded with the pride of your peoples? If so, its soul is mediocre.
Then Bono just looks at him. And then Bono takes off his gloves. And it shows his gloves, his hands also have the holes in them. And they go directly through his fingers and in his palms and across. Like there's holes all over his hand. Don't bother taking it back. Beasts spout gibberish. It doesn't affect me. And then we cut to Finks. We cut to Finks and he's fighting this multi-armed, part spider, part gorilla type creature.
Your punch is weaker than a mosquito bite. What's next? A kick? A weapon? I'm feeling charitable. I'll let you get off another. I'll let you get another one off.
Then Finks, such big words for an ant. Okay, if you insist. A punch.
Ooh, you mean it?
I'd say about 15.
Eh?
And then we cut to Shizuku, and she's the one fighting Pike. And all of a sudden, her vacuum is being webbed up by Pike's webs. Pretty powerful for a chick. Where was she hiding that vacuum? And then Shizuku is thinking to herself,
The fiber is incredibly strong. Once entangled, I won't be able to get away.
and then there's like this tingle behind her. Then we cut to Shalnark, and he's looking at what appears to be like this massive beetle chimera. No matter how tough an opponent, as long as I can stab this antenna, I can win. But it also shows that the shell of this beetle chimera is glistening as well. But is it even possible to pierce that shell? Then we get Phaeton, and it appears he's in front of Zazan.
We're the queen.
You're in luck. In front of you.
Joke not funny.
Joke? Rude brats need to be punished.
Beast.
And, this is the other girl.
Rude brats need to be punished.
Oh, wait.
Rude brats need to be punished.
Beasts spout gibberish.
Okay, if you insist.
Pretty powerful for a chick.
I'd say about 15. And the girl with the yukata and the straight hair, she's listening in on everyone's conversations throughout this entire area.
The queen must be with Phaeton. I wonder how I can intercept.
A kid? Hey, little girl, come here.
No,
Rejected. Guess I gotta take you by force.
And then the girl sighs and just goes,
I'm in a hurry.
and then all of a sudden the entire environment looks like it's filled with flowers. And that's the end of chapter 225. Onwards to chapter 226. I cannot wait to see this entire fight. Chapter 226, 10, part 4. And she starts sprinkling something on top of her fan.
What is that?
Confetti. Wind!
And then she swings her fan, and all of this confetti flies up in front of this chimera with extra long mandibles. But then all of a sudden, all the confetti gets stuck in his skin.
Scraps of paper can't hurt me.
And then she swings her fan again, and more paper just gets tossed up and hits the chimera.
More paper. It's swirling around me.
And then it gets stuck inside of his skin again. And he's just looking at all of this paper just peppering and sticking directly into his body.
I told you it's useless.
That.
And she points, and it shows that one piece of paper is still stuck in his skin. It's still stuck in one of his joints.
Huh? So what about it? A fly might as well have landed on me. You're so naive!
And when he tries to throw a rope at her, she immediately uses her fan to slice the rope apart.
Ah!
And it falls, and he reveals that
What? This is steel rope!
her fan cut through the rope. The steel rope.
My fan is made of paper, but you can't take it lightly. Even normal people can cut a chopstick with a business card.
And she swings her fan again, and this same chimera is just surrounded by endless paper that's swirling in a whirl above him.
Snake dance.
And it goes directly towards the chimera, and it manages to hit him directly in his joint. And that same joint that already had a piece of paper in it, wrong arm, that already had a piece of paper in it, and it takes the whole arm off.
That.
So whenever she says that, she's pointing off at the limb that she's going to take off next. And he sees another piece of paper in his opposite limb.
Guess your right arm's next.
Then we switch to Shalnark, who's fighting this sturdy beetle chimera with extra long forelimbs. And he's dodging away from him being grabbed.
Whoa!
And then he notices that his shirt has been cut. He hasn't been cut, but his shirt has.
Those are pretty sharp. I have to avoid them and stab my antenna between the joints as he twists. The probability of succeeding unscathed is 20%.
And he goes and gets closer to the beetle. And then as he dodges and prepares to stab the antenna, this chimera manages to land a hit on him, and he kind of gets scratched a little bit under the arm. However, in that same motion, Shalnark has already put an antenna directly into his neck, into this chimera's neck.
There. Done.
Ow. I guess I couldn't avoid getting hurt. And it shows his arm bleeding. And then he spins around and looks as the chimera tries to stab him. And then he immediately, he doesn't jump away, but this same chimera still grabs him, and now he's locked in the arms of this chimera while all these sharp appendages are like holding tightly onto him. And he's thinking, why didn't that work? I stabbed it with the antenna.
You're a manipulator, aren't you?
And then we have this one chimera that looks like a Kamen Rider villain. I gotta get me some water. I'll give me some water after this chapter.
You're a manipulator, aren't you? You relaxed when you stabbed Pal with the antenna. That's how it activates, right? You thought you got him.
This is called Pell? You're a manipulator too, right? My ability didn't activate even though the conditions were met, because he's already controlled by someone else. And let me see, I gotta zoom in here. And you have a remote control. Duh.
So you know. Yes, it's first come, first served with manipulators. Now I'll take you to the Queen, and my job is done.
And then Shalnark is just looking at the situation he's in. I can't slip out. I guess I have no choice, though I really don't feel like it. And then we cut back to Finks, who's preparing to fight this chimera that said, like, you can use any weapon that you wish. And he's just swinging his arm. 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then this chimera is looking more and more concerned as after flexing his arm multiple times, Finks' arm is just absolutely brimming with aura. One punch, right? Hey, wait! That's a bit! And then before this chimera can say anything, Finks punches this creature so hard that he literally disintegrates and explodes. The only thing that's left are just the appendages that weren't directly connected to the torso, that weren't close to the torso. But the entire torso and the rest of them just gone. Punch power increases with each ring of the arm. Chitin, Ripper's Cyclotron. Oh, half that many spins would have done the job. I'm still not good at calibrating. Now then, which way to go? And he's looking at 2 different ways to get further into the castle. This man said that half of 15, half of that many spins, because he was spinning, he was spinning his arm multiple times. He wasn't like pumping, he was spinning it. 15 times was enough to obliterate the entire body of a chimera with one punch. Then we get back to Bonolanov, and he's still fighting that prickly chimera. Shizuku is fighting Pike. Finks is wondering where everyone is, and Phaeton is about to go up against the Queen. The right, which is the same, he's wondering which way to go, first of all. The right takes him to Bonolanov. The left takes him to Shizuku. I'll flip a coin. And then it cuts back to Phaeton, who's fighting the Queen. And Phaeton's weapon appears to be an umbrella.
An umbrella?
And then Phaeton sticks his umbrella forward and opens it, and it flaps open, symbol on the umbrella being like the skull. And the Queen is, well, not Queen, but Zazan. Why did I keep calling her the Queen? Sorry, habit. Zazan is looking, and she looks to the side and sees Phaeton trying to speed towards her. And she avoids it completely. And it turns out that his umbrella was just a decoy, because inside the umbrella was a sword he can use. Not bad.
Rats, my Chanel skirt. A hidden sword. You like to hide things, little boy.
We think alike then. Common sense to assume stuff hidden under loose clothes.
And that is the end of chapter 226. Onwards to 227. Oh, I cannot wait to see the rest of these fights. It's been years. It has been years since I've seen these fights in the anime. Chapter 227, 10, Part 5. And everyone's fighting, and we're back with Bonolanov fighting against the spiky chimera. And the thing is, while he's fighting, but Bono has removed his bandages completely. He's not wearing shoes. He's not wearing his gloves. His whole body is completely uncovered save for his shorts. So his dance and his sounds are completely exposed to this chimera. And this chimera is getting tired, apparently, and wheezing. What's wrong? Aren't you going to attack? You want to stop my performance, right?
Yeah. Ah!
And then the chimera just starts running past him.
Ha! I'll get you for this. I'll get Pike and bind him up with Pike's silk, and he won't be able to make any sound. He won't be able to make any noise. You will die!
Quick to escape, but you're not faster than sound. And Benolanov starts spinning in place, and this chimera can hear the sounds. Battle cantabile! Jupiter! Not Juniper. Jupiter! And it makes it see either he's actually created like a mini version of Jupiter, but Jupiter appears above this chimera. Like his Jupiter appears above this chimera and proceeds to crush him. But not before we see the outward explosion from this impact seen from the outside of the castle. And the chimera is left flattened and dead by this attack. And then it shows Bono just standing over the body going, "Squashed to death. Appropriate for a bug, isn't it?" And then your girl has already dismantled the entire chimera. The girl with the fan, she's dismantled this chimera. I forget her name. It starts with a K. She's already killed this chimera.
That took a bit of time. This is a bad habit. I have to stop toying with my prey.
Then we get back to Shalnark, who's fighting against this manipulator chimera.
What'll happen to me?
You'll be a slave, working for the queen until you die. Not much different from now, is it?
Maybe not. But the big difference is whom I work for. I'd rather die than be a yes man to someone I don't even like.
Aren't you lippy? Aren't you lippy? Well, your mouth is the only thing you can move.
I can move my fingers and my left leg, too.
Shut up! Time to be controlled now. I don't want you to really kill yourself. Once I insert this,
And then it cuts to Shalnark going,
I always carry 2 antennas in battle, just for cases like these. First come, first serve.
And then Shalnark proceeds to stab himself with his own antenna.
He stabbed an antenna in himself!
Then Shalnark takes out his phone, his little remote control, and goes, "Autopilot on." Then all of a sudden, Shalnark's body explodes in aura, and it completely surrounds him to the point where it stretches outside of the panel he's drawn in.
What the heck is all this aura? Enemy sighted. Enemy sighted. Terminate target. Pell, his leg! Get the antenna!
And before he can say anything, Shalnark speeds out from Pell, obliterating his limbs, and then rips through the manipulator chimera and just leaving nothing but his head behind.
Mission completed. Autopilot cancelled. Shutting down.
And then Shalnark goes back to his usual state, just his usual appearance. Because in this autopilot mode, his hair is all spiky as if he went like Super Saiyan. It's all spiky with one big massive spike at the top of his head being made from his hair.
Ow! I feel it already. I'll be too sore to move for a couple of days. This is why I hate this mode, even though it's so powerful. The backlash is bad, and I don't remember a thing.
I never feel a sense of accomplishment. So he doesn't even remember that he just killed all these chimeras in front of him. Then we get back to Shizuku versus Pike.
No chance to attack. He's fast, with twice the limbs that I have. I need an opening.
She did it again. That dang vacuum came out of nowhere. Must be an ability to make stuff appear at will. It's so profound. I'm having a hard time catching her with my gossamer.
And it shows Shizuku is just easily dodging Pike's webs.
But I won't let her escape. I hate to do this. It's hard on my butt. But I have no choice.
And Pike jumps up into the air. And while he's airborne, he goes, Deluge d'Amour, Love Shower. And he creates this very tight, very secure, interlocking network of webs all over.
Oh, there's no escaping this.
With all my silk I keep spinning, you got nowhere to run to.
And then it shows Shizuku being completely covered in webs. Woohoo! Got you!
It's no use. Not even Byhorn with his super strength could break my silk.
And Byhorn is the chimera that looks like a bull with a giant mustache.
Now to offer you to Mistress Sazan. I hope she'll be happy.
And while he's starting to drag Shizuku, he notices something. And he looks behind him thinking,
It got lighter? No way.
And all of a sudden, he gets walloped all over his body by blows out of nowhere.
What in tarnation? How'd you get out?
And he tries to punch where Shizuku is, but she's immediately gone.
Hey!
And then she lands.
Oh, so that's it.
Because Shizuku has essentially abandoned all of her clothes except for her undergarments. And she still got her vacuum.
You took off your clothes. I see. The vacuum and clothes kept the silk off her skin while she wiggled out between the gaps. She can rematerialize the vacuum once outside. However, now that you're naked, you can't use that trick again.
And mind you, all of the hits that Pike has taken, he's bleeding from currently.
You can't use that trick again.
The same goes for you. I know the speed and range of your silk, and your habit of twitching your anus twice before striking. You won't catch me again, because I'll stay far away. Blinky and I win.
And that we transfer from Shizuku over to Phaeton fighting Zazan. And they're just clashing, with him using his sword against her tail. And she tries to kick him and he ducks. And she goes,
You're no match for me. Come back when you've got your act together.
True.
Oh, you're actually admitting it?
Guess I've gotten out of shape. But you make good practice.
and he says this while he's like touching his sword and just saying like, yeah, I got out of practice. That's the only reason why things aren't going as well right now. And she gets upset. And that is the end of chapter 227. Onwards to chapter 228. Chapter 228, 10, part 6. And we're back with Pike versus Shizuku and Blinky.
Win? You're dumber than you're dumberer than me.
Dumberer.
You're dumberer than me. You're dumberer than me. You just said you're gonna run.
I said I'd stay far away, but never to run away. I'll show you the difference. Blinky. Suck up every last drop of his blood.
And she starts vacuuming, and every single one of those points where she hit Pike starts literally leaking out all of his blood. And Blinky starts sucking his blood out.
Stop that! You cut it out!
And he tries to web her up, but she dodges.
Uh-oh. I'm feeling dizzy. Gotta stop the bleeding.
And then he has the bright idea of covering all of the holes he has on his body with his limbs and his hands. And he's saying that he's trying to speak, but what he's saying is,
How's that? You can't suck my blood now.
but it shows that Shizuku is getting the limbs that were struck, getting the spaces that were struck on his back because he has holes on all over his body, more than he can cover up.
Yeah, another? And another one. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I can't cover them all.
I gave you 29 bleeding lacerations. They are spaced out so that you can't stop all the bleeding, even with your 8 limbs. Unless you grow another one.
Yeah.
And all we have left is just the emptied, completely bled dry husk of Pike. So yeah, Shizuku won.
There, all clean.
And then while she starts to run away, she stops and comes back and goes over to Pike's body going,
Say, you produce sticky webbing, right? If you had wrapped it around yourself, it would have stopped the bleeding. I guess we're both stupid, huh?
and now we're done with another Chimera, and we move directly over to Phaeton, back with Zazan. And they're still clashing, and Phaeton is dodging every single one of her strikes, and also repelling as well. And while they're fighting, it seems like neither one can land a meaningful hit on the other. And your girl is watching, the one with the yukata. Well, actually, everyone else is watching. They're watching, and she's like,
What in the world? It's so fast.
and then we get Finks. He's doing better now. And then we get Banolanov. Still not at the top of his game, though.
The others are already watching from the sidelines. I may have dallied a little bit, but I wasn't slow or anything. How many feints were there? 5? 7? How could he jump from that stance and attack while... Whoa, he's over there already. This is beyond my imagination.
And she's just looking in bewilderment at just how fast Phaeton is. And she's looking, and then she starts to smile.
They're way beyond me.
And then Shizuku shows up.
Oh, everyone's here already?
Whoa, get a makeover?
And Shizuku shows up, but with the remaining semblances of her clothes, her shirt and pants.
The spider web got me.
Don't tell me you lost.
I won.
She's mad. Just Phaeton's left.
She's pretty tough. I bet she's the queen. Phaeton's not moving very well.
Guess he's not in top form.
Sheesh, I heard that already. I still have far to go.
And then Phaeton takes his umbrella and puts his sword back into it. And then he dashes, and then he starts moving. Then he starts moving so fast that he starts leaving after images around Zazan. And then he runs right behind her, preparing to stab her directly in the neck.
Behind me?
And then there's a king sound, and then Phaeton's sword has stopped because Zazan has wrapped her tail around his umbrella.
He's getting even quicker, and the rest are flocking here. My men were all defeated? Darn it!
And then Phaeton kind of smiles underneath his collar and presses a button on the bottom of his handle. and it shoots out a round. It shoots out the point of his sword, and it hits Zazan, and she's standing there with her hand on her face, and it shows her face bleeding and her eyes getting beady.
Huh. Tough skin. You jerk! How dare you scar my face!
And then Zazan holds onto her tail, and Phaeton's looking kind of confused, and she starts grunting as she basically rips her entire tail off.
Yeah!
And then when that happens, she starts grunting as she's in pain, but also her tail that was once a scorpion tail appears to turn into a different tail, and then her entire appearance starts to change completely as she basically has like a Zarbon moment where she goes from being an attractive looking person to being this utter monster.
I'll kill you!
And when she says this, Phaeton's gone, and Phaeton's directly on top of her going,
KO. Too much unguarded. I'm not nice. I take advantage.
and he goes to stab her, but the blade chips and breaks. And then he goes and he notices, and then Zazan swats her arm behind her, and he gets launched, tearing open his shirt.
But she didn't make contact with him.
She threw some weird aura. That KO attack worked against him. He focused all his aura into one point, yet it did nothing. This came as a surprise, delaying his defense by a split second. He was left totally exposed. Even a crude emission dealt severe damage. She knows how to use aura.
She's not queen for nothing.
Here, my body is indestructible.
Shouldn't we help?
Huh? Why? I told you it's a race. The next guy can give it a try if Phaeton fails.
And Shizuku speaks up.
So, who's next?
Isn't it by order of arrival?
Then it's me.
Hey, you got here at the same time I did.
Duh. I waited for you to finish your battle.
Okay, flip a coin. And mind you, they're having this argument while Phaeton is being kind of knocked around by Zazan.
What's wrong with these people? They're total freaks.
And that's the end of chapter 228. Onwards to chapter 229. We're doing quite well. Yes, we're doing quite well today. Chapter 229, 10, Part 7.
Heads.
I'm next if Phaeton gets killed.
I underestimated them. I thought I'd rise quickly in their ranks. I'm far inferior, almost helpless. But I won't give up. I'm used to waiting it out, no matter how many years it takes. I want to get my brother back.
And it shows Killua's family when they were younger. Chapter 229, 10, Part 7. And Phaeton gets hit again, and his arm gets hit.
Left arm busted. Faye, want to switch with Bono?
And then all of a sudden, Phaeton no longer speaks in English, and he starts speaking in Chinese? Yeah, he starts speaking in Chinese. He curses Zazan out and goes,
Don't press your luck.
and then Finks notices it, and he's all like,
Uh-oh. We better get out of here.
Huh? We'll get caught in the fallout.
And then Bono goes, when he snaps, he really lashes out.
We tried to watch one time and almost got killed.
His ability has a wide range. It's activated by rage, so he doesn't hold back. I bet this one will obliterate you completely, Kaluto.
Ah, Kaluto! That's her name. Sorry. I forgot it. I'm sorry.
I bet this one would obliterate Yugen instantly, Kaluto.
This one? There are different kinds? I want to see it.
And it shows Phaeton just his aura getting more and more massive. And then all of a sudden, his whole appearance changes and he's suddenly covered in like this heavy, pointy robe with the whole bunch of belts all over it.
Here? What? When did he change clothes? It doesn't matter, but he's clearly stronger than before.
And then Phaeton, still speaking in Chinese, goes,
I'll pay back the pain by transferring it into scorching heat. Unforgiven, Pain Packer.
and all the pain that he suffered gets turned into like this little orb that floats above Zazan. And then,
Burnt by the sun, rising sun.
and this little orb turns into a literal sun, and it immediately starts to scorch and burn Zazan. Like all of her hair is just straight up gone and it's just charring her entire body. And then he continues speaking.
Hot enough for you? It scorches your throat closed so you can't breathe. You can run away, you know. If you can even move, that is.
And then he's standing there in front of Zazan, who's currently being burnt up in this inferno.
What's wrong? I thought your body was indestructible.
And then and then Phaeton actually just starts laughing. And Zazan is just laying there, burning up, wondering,
Is this the end? But I'm the queen. How could this be?
and it shows the sun getting hotter and hotter, basically burning this entire place from the inside until Zazan is nothing but a crisp.
Fuel out already. Heat on weak side, too. Too bad. Your death much quicker if you hurt me more. Oh well, you ask for it.
And it just shows the inside of this castle is just basically burning and smoldering, sizzling from all of this intense heat. And the Phantom Troop makes their way into different parts of the castle, and they see that there's no more Chimeras, but the people who have been turned. People have been turned by Zazan, and they're all looking at the Phantom Troop.
Even with the queen dead, I guess they don't turn back to normal. Looks like they've been released from her influence, though.
And then it cuts to the same man who was just recently turned into this creature, like we saw earlier on. He's making his way over to Finks.
Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Please.
And Finks is looking. And all of the other Chimeras start to get up, and all the other amalgamations get up, and they start walking towards the troop.
Please. Kill us.
And then Finks smiles, but he smiles with the anger vein on the side of his face going,
No way. I refuse to kill for charity. You come at us.
and then all of these amalgamations stop.
You're still Meteor City natives, aren't you? Show us that there's some spirit left in you!
And all of the troop, they get prepared to fight. And the people who have been turned, they show their resolve. And they decide, you know what? Let's do this. And they launch at Finks and company, with Finks going,
Send yourselves off in style!
and it cuts to the troop making their way out of the castle.
Now the old fogies are arguing about whether to expand their retaliation to the real Land Queen. I've had enough of these idiots. They sit around a table prattling on about things they can't even do.
Not that we're leaving.
Got nothing else to do. If any more ants show up, I'm here to crush them. Killing survivors leaves an awful aftertaste.
And then a phone rings, and it's Shalnark's phone. And Finks immediately goes,
Is it Krollo?
No, it's Nobunaga. He wants us to lend him a hand.
Oh, for crying out loud! Screw him! This sucks. It's so frustrating having to wait.
You sound like a girl with a crush.
Girly girl. What did you say? You want to say that again?
And it shows Finks throwing all sorts of objects at Phaeton and Shalnark because they're teasing. And then we cut to East Gorto. And we cut to Meruem.
Only 9 more days. Only 9 more days.
And that's the end of chapter 229. This better not be blood again. Okay, we're good. That was the end of chapter 229, onwards to 230. And we're going all the way to 235, I said. We're making good time with these chapters, though. Hold on, let me double check. We started with 224. Yeah. 235 is where we stop. Okay. I had to double check. Chapter 2, that was chapter 229. On to chapter 230. Chapter 239, part 1. Oh, I get it now. The titles are counting down the 9 days that remain before all these people get corralled towards Meruem. Now I get it. Because I was wondering, why is this being called 10? There must be a reason. But no, it's literally the countdown for all of these people. Chapter 239, part 1. And then it shows Gon. It shows Gon coming up out of the water. And then it shows Killua coming out of the water. And then they're putting their clothes back on. And with them both conversating, because apparently they...
Sneaking across the border is easy, but infiltration is another matter. It's risky to be seen by civilians too, right? They promote a powerful whistleblowing mentality here. Turn in a spy, you get a reward.
Pardon me.
Turn in a spy, you get a reward. And evidence of an uprising, find evidence of an uprising, you get a reward. Catch a defector, you get a reward. Everyone's put on a team. When your team gets enough snitch points, everyone's status goes up. But if somebody commits a crime, the whole team gets punished. A carrot and stick policy? Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Families are separated, so a team can't conspire to defect. If they do, the family members left behind would be in prison for life, or executed. If a family is caught fleeing together, they're executed on the spot. Most of the population is left starving while the privileged few gorges in luxury. But the news on TV spews lies that 50% of people in other countries starve to death before the age of 10. Economic aid doesn't go where it's needed. It gets converted into cars, jewels, and missiles instead. There are rumors that nuclear development, which they are using as a bargaining chip in international politics, is also funded by foreign aid.
And mind you, Killua was saying all of this, and this is frying Gon's brain.
Hey, don't blow a fuse now. You have to be quiet. I'm okay. You sure know a lot, Killua. I heard it from my brother, who probably heard it from Grandpa. He snuck in here for work a long time ago. The same thing was written on the Hunter's website. It's likely they still have the same system in place.
And while they're exploring the area, they come across a little village.
Some huts. Yep, a small village. What do? We sneak in. Is this a good idea? We need up-to-date information. We brought authentic-looking clothes and status badges, but they might have other ways to detect spies. It's good to have as much data as we can. Wait there.
And then Killua goes to infiltrate. And then after some time passes, he waves over at Gon to come follow him. And the place is empty.
The whole place is empty. Did they leave for the capital already? No. They didn't leave. Whoever it was hid what they did.
And then it cuts to a chair that also apparently has a hole behind the wall, and it looks like there's some blood on this hole as well. Then they go outside, and Killua and company are looking all around. And then Gon sees that there are multiple bodies sticking up out of the ground.
The grave was too shallow. It's been dug up by wild dogs. The entire village must be buried here. What's going on? This is the true purpose for the rally. To create a situation where it wouldn't be unnatural for entire towns and villages to go missing. The selection has already started.
And while they're standing there, the image of Pito is in the background, like amongst their shadow.
Getting the entire population in one place to sort them at once is a huge ordeal. There are 5 million people after all. It's much better to process one town at a time. Problems arise when family or colleagues suddenly can't contact each other and start asking questions. But a national rally is the perfect excuse for everyone to be away from home for a while. There's a strict ban on cell phones, so people are used to being unable to reach each other while on the road. It makes the ants' jobs much easier. Paging is on the southeastern end of the continent. Paging is on the southeastern end of the country. All they need to do is work gradually eastward. The government can issue commands about departure times to the capital. People can't make arrangements to travel together. So the ants can avoid circumstances where people fail to meet up. Nobody would ever guess. But... But... They have to go around punching 5 million people. They have to go around punching 5 million people? Yeah, even if only 1% survive, they'll have 50,000 new soldiers. No, before we get to that, they have 10 or actually 9 days now. In order to sort 5 million people, they need a lot of people to do the sorting. Say one person can sort 10,000 people in 10 days. Yeah, 500 sorters. You're saying they don't have that many soldier ants with Nen? Yeah. You're saying they don't have that many soldier ants with Nen? Yeah. I agree with you, but actually, the sorter doesn't even need to know Nen. Why not? Because they can be manipulated.
And the first image that pops up in Gon's head is Kite.
That's his ability. It can be on autopilot, and he can probably handle quite a number of people at the same time, like Genthru. Even normal people have a small amount of aura. Force that aura into the fist, hit the target. Instant army of 50,000, on top of 4,950,000 corpses. It's not all bad. If we're right, it'll be easy to interrupt their process. We go and knock out a puppet and set off a riot. Then get the lucky survivors to check on other villages. It'll be a piece of cake to subdue an amateur being manipulated. Repeat around the country to start a lot of riots. The problem is, they find out right away.
There's a lot of talking in this chapter.
Laying low is the best way to carry out the chairman's plan, you know? Well?
And then Gon is just thinking about it.
We have to do it. If the sorting has begun, we can't just ignore it. All right, let's do it. But I'll do it alone. You stay hidden. Why? 2 of us would be better. 2 of us would be better. Don't forget why we're here. We have to take him down. Don't think about anything else.
And by him, they're thinking of Pito.
I'll handle it. I'm good at stirring up trouble. And no offense, but it'll be easier to do this by myself. Fine, I get it. Do you really? Do you really get it? Killua? Promise me. Stay hidden. No matter how many people you see being killed, give me your word.
Then there's silence. And that's the end of the chapter. We don't even get Gon's response yet. That's the end of chapter 231. Onwards to chapter 2... Well, that's the end of chapter 230. Onwards to chapter 231. Chapter 231, 9, part 2. And we still don't have Gon's answer. And they're just staring at each other. And then Killua turns away.
I'll text you. Our cells should work here. Killua? Sorry, it's nothing. I'm just on edge.
And then Gon is standing there looking at Killua. And while they're talking, apparently they're being watched. They're not from around here. Rather young for spies, but they're formidable, all right. Could they be assassins? Wait, who's saying this? Someone is going...
They're not from around here.
Who's the person who's sensing them? I can't tell who this is. They're not from around here. Rather young for spies, but they're formidable, all right. Could they be assassins? Here to kill the king? I gotta make a move, but two against one isn't a good idea. Here. Especially the one on the left with the silverish hair. His gait shows it. He has as much potential as a squadron leader. And then it shows Killua looking back in the direction of the person who was watching them. I killed all traces, yet he still felt my presence. Works for me. And then we cut to a different location altogether. And someone is speaking going, "Are you sure the plan will work?" And it's this person listening to music in a hotel room, drinking as well, because we have Nove and Moral there. You'll give me and my family asylum. Don't worry. We have already received permission from the politicians and have the paperwork ready. All you need to do is sign it. However, your provision of military information is absolutely necessary. It's specified in the contract, so it would be most unfortunate for all parties involved if you were unable to deliver after the fact. There's no problem of that. I'll tell you everything. All that man's evil deeds. And then Moral speaks up. Thanks, our lives are depending on it. As if you're just an innocent bystander. That expensive wine you're sipping in this grand place was gotten by blindly doing his bidding, you scoundrel. And then Nove is looking at Moral, telling him to calm down and ease up. And Moral notices. I know. Work is work. So, Mr. Marcos, go through your everyday routine as if nothing's amiss. In 2 weeks, you'll be relaxing on the beach with your family. And then we cut to a different location and someone's gritting their teeth. And it's Knuckle with Shoot. Ugh, I don't like it one bit. You want me to turn a blind eye while people die? Calm down. And this is Shoot telling him to calm down. If 5 million people are going to be sorted in 10 days, that's 500,000 people a day. Only 1% will survive. 495,000 people are already dead. How can you be so calm? Because if we lose our cool now, billions of people will die. And then it's silent. If the plan fails, we'll all die. Not even a chairman can defeat a king. If we don't separate him from the 3 royal guards first, if they find out about us beforehand, they'll beef up their security. Choke your emotions down.
Forsake 5 million people for the rest of humanity?
Yes. Blame me if it'll make you feel better.
You're not coming up with any better solutions either, you know!
And then Knuckle just continues to be upset. We'll do what we can and put all we have into it, even our lives. And then it cuts to a different location as we have Gon on his own.
Hope Killer was all right. He was acting weird. Maybe we should have stayed together. But he'll get mad if I go after him.
And he's just eating an apple. And then he's just sitting there. And then a solitary leaf falls in front of him. And then a giant chimera, snake chimera, with the upper torso of a human and the lower body of a snake, attempts to coil around him. And he coils around because, mind you, Gon's on a tree. He's up against chilling on a tree. And this snake chimera wraps around the tree and breaks the tree, causing it to fall down.
Nice moves. And how's this?
And the snake chimera coils its body like a spring and starts bouncing all around the forest. Mind you, it's pitch black dark outside. So all Gon can do is just sense the location of where this chimera is going to be.
Using my powerful tail as a spring, I'll leap between the trees. It's impossible to predict my moves in the dark.
And he launches at Gon and manages to get his tail around Gon.
Gotcha! Time to get crushed.
And then Gon just casually unfurls himself. Literally, without any resistance, even though this chimera has him bound up completely, he just unfurls himself from the snake's tail, just easily.
It wasn't tight at all. Who's got who now?
And then Gon just goes, BAM! And all we get is this chimera wrapped up against another tree with his own tail and beaten into submission.
He looks like he has python genes, so he'll be able to live without food for over a week. He found me fast. I need to hide better. Well, the snake would have found me anyway. Some snakes have infrared sensitive receptors. Some snakes have infrared sensitive receptors. This allows them to see heat given off by prey even in darkness. They can gauge size, shape, and even distance. But why are there soldier ants in an area they finished sorting? Maybe there are more lookouts because we're near the border.
And then another sound pops up next to Gon, and all of a sudden he gets hit by something in the dark. And mind you, he's in the dark. He can't see anything at all. But we have what appears to be an owl chimera and a bat chimera.
An owl and a bat?
But he can't see them, but he can hear them. And he's using that same skill that the snake he just described. And he's sensing where they are.
Now there are 2. What will you do now?
And that's the end of chapter 231. Onwards to chapter 232. I'd say we're making good time. Yes, I think we're making good time. Chapter 232, 9, Part 3.
An owl and a bat. They're both nocturnal, hunters of the night.
And he can hear the flapping of the bat's wings, but not the owl's.
My left. Come on.
And he's trying to sense, but Gon gets hit by the bat chimera.
An owl feather? The sound of the bat's wings drowns out the owl's movements.
And then we get more narration. Serrations on an owl's flight feathers muffle the sound of its wing beats. This adaptation is believed to aid the owl in stealthily approaching its prey, and hearing the prey's movements over its own sounds. Owls hunt more by sound than by sight,
since they can capture prey.
I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm not sleepy. Please forgive me. Owls hunt more by sound than by sight, since they can capture prey. Owls hunt more by sound than by sight, since they can capture prey even in complete darkness. The ears of barn owls are not symmetrical in size or their location on the head. This results in a time lag in the sound reaching each ear, enabling the owl to triangulate the position of the sound source.
Hoo-hoo! I can hear higher frequency sounds than other animals. The leaves crunching beneath your feet, the rustling of your clothes. They all tell me where you are.
Now my right.
And more owl feathers land in Gon's right leg, and then he gets hit by the bat creature from the front.
The owl distracts me right before the bat attacks. A short and long range 1-2 punch. Wait. That means...
And then Gon starts using his aura as both the bat and owl take notice.
Look at all that aura, but it's no use. We rule the night.
And then the owl throws more feathers at Gon.
Think of it another way. If the owl aids in the attack, just focus on the bat wings flapping. Right after the owl attacks, now the bat will strike.
And then the bat goes towards Gon and he aims the punch. But then the bat flies away out of his punch's range. I wish you could just yawn once. Just one big yawn, and then it doesn't happen at all. But yeah, Gon misses his punch.
What? I missed? But it was perfect! Must be echolocation.
Echolocation allows bats to navigate and hunt in the dark. A bat emits a series of high-pitched clicks, ultrasound, that bounce off objects in its environment. Echolocation works by measuring the time delay between the emitted sound and the echo that bounces off objects to localize obstacles and prey. Bats use echolocation to zero in on prey and avoid collisions with obstacles. The limits of echolocation are not yet completely understood. The fisherman bat is thought to be able to hear an echo even when it's only 1/1,000,000th as loud as the original click. Courtesy of Hunting Behavior of Animals by Tadaaki Imaizumi. So the bat is using echolocation to find out where Gon is, and in order to avoid getting hit by Gon.
Missed again!
Because it shows that the owl's using feathers and throwing them at Gon, and Gon tries to punch in where the bat's going to be, but the bat is using echolocation to avoid Gon completely.
Darn it, he senses my approach. Good ears for a human.
My feathers aren't hurting him much either.
She detects when I'm about to strike by echolocation. I have to disrupt his stalemate.
Gon breathes out.
Show me rock!
Even more aura. Not good.
No. We can use this. This must be a signature move. If we trounce it, victory is ours. Echolocation will keep me safe. Shall I cover you?
Shall I cover you?
Hold on. I can close in.
And then while they're starting to fly higher and higher away, Gon can sense that they're moving away.
It's getting farther. The sound stopped.
And it shows the bat high into the air. Yeah, it shows the bat high into the air. And then she stops flapping.
Dive bomb!
And she starts going straight towards Gon, just dive bombing him.
It's no use. Unlike the owl, your wings slice sharply through the air. Here she comes.
Come on! Show me your signature move! He's not moving? He has human hearing after all. Then I'll keep going. I'll sever his jugular. Keep movement to a minimum.
Oh wait, Gon goes,
Keep movement to a minimum. And draw them in as close as possible.
then the bat notices because Gon Gon notices and then dodges slightly, causing only the collar of his jacket to be torn. Just the collar.
He lured me in. A trap. But he's in an awkward position, too. A punch will take a split second to reach me. I can easily avoid it.
And then Gon, with every ounce of strength in his lungs, spins around and goes, "Ah!" Directly into the bat's ears. You know, the bat that uses echolocation to hear perfectly, just screams loudly into this bat chimera's ears, with her ears ringing.
I can't feel any sound. Gotta escape.
Oh, no, you don't. John? You're not the only one who can locate by sound. Ken?
Paper! And then he launches some nen directly at the bat. And as it gets closer and closer to the chimera,
Got her!
something comes in and then deflects it away from the bat. Ugh. And it shows another structure. It shows another figure in the distance.
He deflected it with a rock?
Hoo-hoo, just in time.
I expended aura but failed to nail her.
Though now I can, just in time. Though now I can't fly.
So now the owl has gone from being in an owl-like body into basically a gorilla-like body.
Gorilla mode!
And he goes to punch Gon in this state, but Gon dodges, but not before he basically uproots an entire tree. And while he's in the air dodging this attack, a high-pitched noise hits his ears and he just has to cover his ears. And when he covers his ears, he, for some reason, closes his eyes as well and gets swatted away by the owl.
Ugh, what was that head-splitting sound? Is this an ultrasound?
I can't believe you yelled so loud, punk. When I'm the pro when it comes to sonic attacks.
This is their true combo attack. Paralyzed with sound and crushed with brute strength.
Now what will you do?
And that is the end of chapter 232. Onwards to chapter 233. We're almost done. Almost done. Chapter 233, 9, Part 4.
Ha! You can't yell at me now. It's Sonic payback time.
Hoo hoo hoo! I can't plug my ears. I need to hear or I can't react. Or go!
And then the owl notices and goes,
Glowing eyes? No, it's aura. He's focusing on sight instead of hearing.
Have another one. Secret dissonance. Nauseating noise.
and the bat chimera lets out a screech that hurts Gon's ears. Ugh! And in doing so, the bat chimera comes in and hits Gon directly over the head. And while Gon is flying, he tries to go for another punch, but Gon gets out of the way of this one.
This sound is too horrible. I can't fight it. I can't fight through it.
And then Gon rips some pieces off his clothes and sticks some cotton in his ears. But he sticks the cotton in his ears after he gets knocked away by the owl chimera.
There, that should make it better. Using wet clothes
as earplugs? Water weakens the energy of sound.
Ugh, at least I can tolerate it now.
Because the bat chimera tries to use the same attack, but at least Gon can keep his eyes open.
And by the owl's aura, I can see him. Here he comes.
And then something comes flying out of the darkness, and it's basically just a regular feather covered in Nen. And while he's in the dark, we have two little circles over his head, and that signifies the owl who, while in the dark, proceeds to just beat up on Gon.
Setsu! Of course, they used to be wild animals. They're naturals at sneaking up on their prey. I can stand the sonic attacks, but they're wearing me down. If I can't concentrate on Gyo, I'll keep getting pummeled without so much as a glimpse of them.
The kid has a lot.
The kid has lots more latent aura than them. He's not getting hurt.
Oh wait, who's this? That can't be the bat creature. The kid has lots more aura than them. He's not getting hurt despite all the blows. But no matter how much compatibility you have, without tactics, you'll still fail.
They have superb teamwork. I have to break it apart.
And then it cuts to Gon rushing the owl chimera.
You think staying close to me will prevent the sonic attacks? As if.
And then the bat chimera continues to use these same sonic attacks.
Rock will flatten them, but the bat could escape and tell the others.
And it shows both Gon and this creature just fighting in the dark.
A starry night might as well be as bright.
A starry night might as well be as bright as day to me. As long as it's not pitch black, I can see you clearly even without sound. So as I close my ears,
I can sonic wail all I want.
And then Gon is steadily having to defend himself away from these blows from this owl chimera. Someone is watching Gon. The kid is enveloping himself evenly with aura to avoid major injury, which minimizes striking power so he's unable to take down the owl. This could take forever. There are 3 people watching Gon. Maybe he's not a good choice after all.
Exploit their weaknesses. Their tight teamwork can be used against them.
And then while Gon is running, he sees a fallen tree.
This is the spot!
And then he picks up the tree. This is a tree. A full tree. Literally one of the trees that got knocked down. This is a full tree. And he just picks it up. These people are strong. And then Gon swings the tree.
To avoid getting targeted at the same time, stay right in between them.
And then when he swings the tree, the owl dodges out of the way. Ho-hoo!
When the owl is in front of me, the bat is directly behind.
And with all of his strength, he still keeps with the momentum and swings the branch. And the bat is looking confused. As to her, a giant wall just appeared directly in front of her.
A gigantic wall?
And then from this one singular swing from Gon, he created this gigantic wall of air.
It's a gust of wind! I'm getting blown away! And behind me!
She slams directly into a rock face so hard, she gets embedded in it.
A real rock face was behind me!
And she's left crumpled after hitting the wall so hard.
He used a combination against us. He led the fight to a spot where a cliff was behind the bat, and slammed her into the wall with an inescapable gust.
And then Gon goes in for the kill and takes out the bat. After we just see Gon, the aftermath of Gon punching the bat deeper into the mountain. And then Gon lands. Ah! And Gon starts walking towards the owl.
Down to 1. I can attack in peace.
Not bad once he finds his rhythm. but that hardly beats average around here. I don't know who these are. I'm just making up voices for these people. And the owl starts backing away. And then he starts taking off running.
Out of luck! And no time to switch back to owl mode. I have to put some distance between us.
Show me rock!
And then the owl looks behind him.
John?
And then he sees Gon speeding up ridiculously fast.
John? Ken?
Why you?
Rock!
And with one solid hook, he sends the owl chimera flying into the air, into the distant night. Oh?
I sent you west. Back to NGL you go.
Holy cow. So this is his signature move. I take back what I said. He could be useful. But the question is...
And then we cut to a different location, where we have numerous people bound up in ropes.
Jolik has fallen from power. Brainwashed soldiers are killing people in other villages. Tell the others, or else your friends and relatives will all die.
And it shows that Killua is the one going to different villages warning other people. And Pito is out someplace wondering,
Who is interfering?
and that's the end of chapter 233. Onwards to chapter 234. I think we're doing quite well. Ravi, this was one of the best ideas to make sure that the chapter number was up there. So just in case people were wondering, you guys can know right here. This will be a permanent mainstay whenever I'm reading chapters of different series in the future. Aside from if I'm doing long-term big read-throughs, those numbers will be up there. Chapter 234, 9, Part 5. And we cut to Pito.
Southeast. This time, the puppets are disabled already. He's fast. Okay, he's trying to make his next move unpredictable. An assassin? But he's acting alone. A decoy? This is annoying. I want to get rid of him.
It's merely a diversion, nothing more. And then we have the other member of the guards, the one with the butterfly wings, playing on a violin. You mustn't go.
You think so? But it doesn't seem like he's luring me. He's acting with the utmost care not to get caught.
Maybe that's merely what he wants you to think and is luring you. Or am I overanalyzing? That's the pitfall of logic. Alas.
Um,
The answer is simple. Our duty is to protect the king. My anguish is intoxicating as I wallow in my dilemma. Let others take care of everything else. And then we have someone walking in on the 3 elite guards of the king of Meruem, and it's the lion and his crew, who was always so gung-ho about striking out on his own and getting away from the queen, that he's here going,
You mean us? When we fled from hunters, you took us back in and even coached us in our abilities. Now let us repay you.
someone's breaking my puppets. Get rid of him, me okay?
Leave it to us.
Take this cell phone. We're not telepathic like you. I'll call to update you on his location.
Yes, sir.
and the big old lion chimera leaves with his crew. And then we get the other of the elite guards going, can we trust him?
Nope, not at all. But they do want to earn my trust, so they'll do what I ask. They're merely
waiting for the opportunity to stab us in the back.
So we'll deal with them accordingly.
Then we cut back to Killua, telling all of these different villagers, and also messing with any of Pito's puppets. And then it cuts to Killua. Who's on his phone.
The closest town is at 2 o'clock, then 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
I'll skip them all and go to Taba 40 kilometers away. Be cautious. Don't get caught.
And while Killua is running full tilt, he stops completely. He stops and then focuses. Because he's trying to see if there's anything going on.
No. Bad vibes.
And he goes in a completely different direction than where he was about to go. Because he could sense something was off. Then we get Knuckle again.
Uh-oh. I should have taken care of him myself.
What's up?
That Chiru guy's heading this way at breakneck speed. The assigned hunter must have failed to nab him.
Is he heading for us?
No. He'll pass far to the south of us.
Where are you going?
You can't stop me. I'm pissed off enough as it is. The Hunter Association has captured 319 ants outside the NGL to date, but Colt said there were no squadron leaders among them. There are 8 aggressive squadron leaders out there. Hunters have encountered 4 of them, but they all got away. Chitu's not coming here for no reason. He knows the king's here. I'm sure he's aiming to gain strength by serving under him. My ability is still working. I can overpower him for now. But all bets are off if we let him go by and he acquires a more powerful ability. What'll happen if the king assembles more minions like him? It won't be about pulling just the royal guards away from the king anymore.
You still want to stop me?
You still want to stop me? Huh? Do I gotta fight you first?
And then Shoot doesn't say anything. And then holds his hand out, and it has the image of a cell phone in it, which becomes real.
Call Mora first. We might have to find replacements for us. I'll go with you. Anything to increase our odds.
And then Knuckles just smiles as he takes the phone. That's a useful ability. Having a tattoo of an item you intend to use just on your hand, and then that item just materializes. That's so useful. And then Knuckle gets on the phone.
Hey, it's me. Something's come up. Yes, we think so. And, hello? Hello?
And then apparently Moral just hung up in his face.
I told you Like was the best man for the job.
What? Listen to me. Is this no saying? I told you Like was the best man for the job.
What? Listen to me. This is insane.
What's wrong?
The ant we marked got away. The review board didn't use the hunter we recommended.
Who did they pick?
Some guy, a temp, I'm sure.
Temp hunters. The Hunter Association often accepts jobs from governments or private businesses and subcontracts them to affiliated hunters. The hired hunter is guaranteed a standard fee depending on the difficulty and risks involved, regardless of the success or failure. Thus, some hunters choose it as a career, but others often ridicule them, referring to them as temp hunters. Depending on the type of job, the HA may be flooded with applications, and in those cases, a review board matches a hunter based on their skills and aptitude.
I should have asked Like myself.
Don't be ridiculous. If we'd gone over the board's heads, the blame would go to the chairman. He had to argue just to bring us to begin with.
But they have no idea what the action's like on the battlefront. They only care about past success and contributions to the HA.
The board's rigid mentality is nothing new.
How can you sit there so calmly? We can't underestimate these squadron leaders.
And then Nove just casually looks at him. They're tough. They know what they want, and they have the talent to get the ability they need in the shortest time.
It'll be too late if we leave it all up to the board. They're too conservative and mindful of their own interests.
Well,
maybe failure is what they want.
Are you talking about the rumors of the vice chairman's supporters bribing the board? And that they're only giving jobs to hunters who have pledged to vote for the vice chairman in the next election? You don't have any proof.
They're too smart to leave evidence. But look at the facts! Those squadron leaders just keep getting away, and they're the ones we need to capture!
The chairman will be blamed if this fails. The vice chairman's supporters will do nothing.
The more victims there are, the more they'll clamor for the chairman's resignation. Meanwhile, they're just kicking back in their office chairs. Even if we manage to kill the king, it'll be a failure if we let 5 million people die.
We knew this beforehand, and so did the chairman. He took everything into account before coming up with a plan. The time frame necessary to kill the king for sure, and the unavoidable casualties in the meantime. At the least 5 million.
At the least 5 million. That's too many, under any circumstances.
And then Moral's phone rings.
Mr. Marcos, I warned you before. Only call in an emergency. What? Are you sure?
The phones have been ringing off the hooks. There are rumors that there's been a coup. It's all over the country. And multiple reports of mass murder. These aren't rumors. The mass graves are real. Is this genocide?
What's going on? Is this your doing? It's not us. We'll explain later.
The public found out!
Get back to work before they get suspicious.
Then he hangs up on him. Moral. And then this big announcement plays out over the entire city. Our Supreme Commander Ming Jolik has an emergency announcement to make. To listen respectfully to the esteemed words he will bestow upon us, set the volume control on official speakers to maximum. I repeat, our great leader has an emergency announcement to make. All citizens must heed his words. Turn on all radios and television sets and set the volume to maximum.
Good evening, my beloved citizens. The country is now placed under martial law. Dissidents have been exposed in acts of treason and must be apprehended. Do not leave your residences. Lock all your doors. Anyone found out?
Sorry, this was the wrong voice I gave him.
Good evening, my beloved citizens. The country is now placed under martial law. This was the voice I gave him. Dissidents have been exposed in acts of treason and must be apprehended. Do not leave your residences. Lock all your doors. Anyone found outside without permission will be deemed a terrorist. Do not be misled by enemy propaganda. Remember, I am your highest authority. Our proud military will be visiting each of your homes to check for hiding intrusions. Do not open your door to anyone else.
It's too quick.
Gon and Killua. They took matters into their own hands, I see.
The ants are too well prepared. They had foreseen this eventuality. Is it just me, or do you seem a little pleased? We should conclude that their contingency plans took into account people finding out about the sorting. Now the ants have an excuse to use overt military force. Under martial law, they'll seal off the country to sort at their leisure. Then we get Killua.
Bring 'em on. Tanks, fighter jets, send whatever you got. I'll take 'em all down.
And that is the end of chapter 234. Onwards to the final chapter of this volume, and one chapter to bring this session to a close, chapter 235. Chapter 235, 8, part 1. We're now at 8 days. And we get Shoot and Knuckle.
He's close. All right. He's coming along the road. He'll be right on top of us in about 10 minutes.
And we just see this long stretching road next to a forest. Do you think he'll come straight through?
No, he'll sense me right before. Once he gets within a 100-meter radius of me, ARP will start accruing interest again. But at his speed, we might be able to get him before the next interest announcement.
Knuckles' ability announces the accumulated interest every 10 seconds. but the count is interrupted if he gets more than 100 meters away from the target. The remaining time is saved in APR's memory, restarting where it left off as soon as Knuckle gets within a 100-meter radius once again.
Seconds until interest accrued.
He's running about 100 to 110 miles per hour. If there are more than 3 seconds left, we can take him down before he even notices. He's coming!
And then Knuckle takes his shirt off. And then there's silence.
What the heck? He suddenly changed direction! Below us!
Knuckle! You won't make it. He has cheetah speed. But he can't handle Zetsu. How do you know we were here?
Is it?
And then he licks his finger and then sticks it in the air. Then he picks up some dirt. And then he sprinkles it, and it shows the wind blowing away from him.
Slight breeze, but we're downwind. It's not swirling. He didn't sniff us out.
Above us! And it shows something above them, and it's one of the lion chimera's buddies, bug chimera that's floating in the air.
What's that?
What do you want me to do?
Leave them. Leave them. They're not our target. No point in doing extra work.
Yes, sir. It seems they're going to ambush Sir Cheetor.
Oh, he's here too? I let him know before you ran into them. Where'd he go?
He took a detour to the capital. He gave his regards to you, Sir Leol.
Leol! Leol the lion chimera.
He gave his regards to you, Sir Leol.
Well done. Now he owes me one.
And then the phone rings, and it's Leo.
Leo here.
The target is fighting with an infantry battalion in Luanton. The target is fighting with an infantry battalion in Luanton. Prepare an ambush to the north. It's just a hunch.
Yes, sir. The military can't handle it, eh?
No, but I'm just stalling him. He's spending more and more time in one district. After all, he's been on the move for 30 hours straight.
And then it cuts to Killua, who has basically taken down an entire army on his own.
Jolik has fallen into enemy hands. You'll all be killed if you stay home.
You lie, rebel! And then it shows guns being fired, bullets being fired at Killua, and he just moves away.
Jolik appeared on TV to show he's alive. They have no reason to believe me now. I gotta give up on inciting riots. Just crush all the armies and puppets I come across.
Then it cuts to Killua. Needs stretch. Then it cuts to Killua in the forest, looking at his map.
Next, I'll try north. There's no mistake.
Oh, wait.
I'll try north.
And then Killua just starts going north. Then we cut to Gon as he's going.
There's no mistake. I'm still being followed.
Chapter 235, 8, Part 1, and it shows the map where everyone is. We have Moral and Nove over in the city on the most eastern side of the country. On the lower half of the eastern side, we have the king and his elite royal guards. We have Leol in one location, and the people that follow him are in different spots, with Knuckle and Shoot having to deal with the flying chimera that's on Leol's side. And then we have an unknown in the northern western part of the country, and then Gon all by himself. And just to correct myself, Killua's pretty much kind of close to where Knuckle, Shoot, and this other chimera are. But Gon stops because he's being followed, going,
Who's there? Come on out!
but is silent.
Silence. No signs. He might be waiting until others arrive.
And then Gon just starts taking off. But he still senses the person behind him.
I swear I'll shake him off. We'll see who has greater endurance.
And then we get someone skidding to a stop, and it's Chitu speaking to Leol.
Hey,
Yo,
sorry to stop you.
you're on the way. The king is up ahead, right?
Fluttery,
Flutter's warning saved me. I didn't feel like fighting.
good to hear. What's that?
Who knows? A hunter got me. It keeps following me no matter how fast I run. Though it hasn't done anything either.
Want me to take it off you? Want me to remove it?
Can you?
Maybe.
It won't come cheap, right?
I'm glad you're smart. The royal guards asked me to do a job. I want you to help me.
Sir Leol! I found the target. He's heading north in the woods by the highway, northwest of Lorton.
So Lord Neferpito's hunch was right.
And then, mind you, they're communicating telepathically with Leol speaking to Flutter going,
Don't lose him. Get all the men to stop him.
Yes, sir.
We're chasing a human. He's probably a hunter.
You want help hunting him? Hunter, huh? They can be hard to deal with.
We'll get that thing off you first. You'll get a new ability when you get to the castle. Lord Shiapoof will personally repair you an ability that matches your talents, and teach you how to master it. You can learn it in 1 day if you're fast. It took me 3 because I'm a slow learner.
Sounds like a sweet deal. And we swear allegiance to the king in return?
Exactly. A breeze, right? Just agree with whatever
whatever they say?
Huh. You are smart. Contact me after you go back to the castle and learn the new ability. I'll get my men to find out the praise ability by then.
Well, I owe you one. You sure keep taking the best posts.
Heh, of course. I used to be the king of beasts after all.
Obviously, you're eager to recapture the crown.
Then we cut to Killua.
Huh? I can't shake him. My yo-yo can't reach that high. I gotta lose him, or take him down.
And mind you, Killua is being followed by Flutter, but who's staying at a far enough range, and if I move my... Yeah, that's not dirt on my screen. That big old tiny little dot in that manga page is Flutter, and she's all the way in the air. And Killua is taking this opportunity to try to run as best as he can. And then he runs down a hill. He runs down a mountain, actually, and he sees this massive forest.
A jungle! He won't be able to see through all the foliage from above. I can attack with the yo-yos when he comes down low to follow.
And he just takes off inside of this forest. And then he ducks under a tree.
Is he gone? He should be coming to scout if he lost me. I don't have any time to lose. Come on already!
See you, no matter where you are. Go, Leo Army! Go capture the prey! Go capture the prey! And it shows many eyes that are inside this forest waiting for Killua. And this is the end of chapter 235. I am so sorry for all the yawning I was doing earlier on. Even now, a yawn decides to show up at the tail end of this session. But now we are getting knee deep into the Chimera arc of the Hunter. I was about to say One Punch, but Hunter x Hunter story. We've seen the Phantom Troop fight. We got the names of, the reminder of Kaluto's name, and we got the introduction of Bonolanov's name as well. So now I know the names of all the other members of the Phantom Troop. But now we got this whole deal with Killua trying to warn everyone, disrupting Pito's plans for the sorting, and now he's being hunted by the Chimeras, including Leol, the big old lion chimera, his crew, and also this little Leol army that's apparently about to fight Killua as well. But that's the end of Volume 22, 8, Part 1, End. Because we only have 8 days until the sorting starts. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first stream for the year 2023.
6. And I'm glad it was Hunter x Hunter, so that way you guys can enjoy a fresh, new read-through for the year. But this isn't the end of the festivities for this year. The fun is just starting, and I can't wait to entertain you guys a little bit later on. But that's all I got for you guys at the moment. Welcome to 2026. I look forward to entertaining all of you, and I can't wait to have more fun with you guys again later. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even consider checking out the Patreon, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway, have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples!